So yes, type 2 diabetes is actually curable, and I'm going to go into that now about how and why it is. But before, I just want to state that I'm not advising anyone to do this. It can be very dangerous if you take insulin and you go hypoglycemic. You need to be very careful and talk to a doctor if you are even considering doing anything like this, and do it under their guidance. I'm not telling anyone to do this, but yeah, that's pretty much my disclaimer. So, going on to how you can actually cure type 2 diabetes, it's free and it's easy, and it's literally just intermittent fasting. Now, before you click off or worry, I'm going to back my evidence up. I'm going to show you studies, and I'm going to run through all of it, and I'll even give you references and links so you can look into it yourself. But again, there's lots of studies online that prove this. Now, if you don't know what intermittent fasting is, intermittent fasting is not eating for a period of time. I believe a standard one is not eating for 16 hours and then you eat in an 8-hour window. And you can eat as much or as little as you like when you're eating. It's just about having that fasting period. And that makes a lot of sense why it can help your diabetes because you're effectively giving your body a break from eating. Now, I'm going to get into the first study here, and it's basically a meta-analysis and it looks at multiple studies and the results are pretty clear, and it talks about how intermittent fasting is effective at reducing body weight, decreasing fasting glucose, decreasing fasting insulin, reducing insulin resistance, decreasing levels of leptin, and increasing levels of adiponectin. I can't really say that very well. And it says even in some studies they found that patients were able to reverse their need for insulin completely. So I'm not saying everyone is curable, but I think the fact that they've had studies where people were able to stop using insulin altogether is a really good sign. And even if you're not able to cure it, which I believe you can, it looks like there's so many things that are getting better, like your insulin resistance, fasting, blood glucose. It's really amazing, and I don't know why people aren't pushing this more or talking about it. And I've had a lot of like fat people or diabetic people say, "Oh no, it's not curable, blah blah blah." Honestly, it's always angry people who like eating too much. So no offense to you if that's you, but that's the only people I've had resistance against. It's never anyone healthy. So yeah, and then another one, the second one here, they looked at intermittent fasting for weight loss, and they actually found, and they again looked at quite a few studies, and they found that those who were actually doing intermittent fasting and not just calorie restriction, and they found that those who were on the intermittent fasting, they had a decrease in fasting glucose levels. They also had increased oral glucose insulin sensitivity and decreased glucogen levels, all these things that they didn't find in the calorie restricted group. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Because if you know how drugs work, it's that if you use them all the time, your body becomes less sensitive. So it makes sense, right? If you're constantly using insulin, your body's not going to get a chance to resensitize. So it makes a lot of sense. Again, like, I think it's like pretty good evidence there. I mean, I definitely want to put it out there so people can be aware of this and realize that it could very well be curable. I mean, feel free to check out the links, and yeah, I'm sure I've offended plenty of people, but too bad. Like, it is what it is. Like, show me some science else, like to show me otherwise. I really don't care unless you've got something to show. And then, yeah, like, best of luck and thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it.